All right, so let me give my thoughts on the ban list. Okay, so this is something I saw. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Ariseheart being banned is actually insane. This is gonna sound crazy. You guys might laugh at me for this, but I think Ariseheart getting banned is kind of suspect. Let me explain. Like Kashtira as a deck conceptually has pretty much mitigated a lot of degen combo decks from ever being playable. My concern about Ariseheart being banned is the fact that like Vanadium or like Infernoble or any sort of degen combo decks, like I'm talking about, like you just go first and you play by yourself, like you're basically playing Pokemon. And it's so, I hate that type of Yu. I like mid-range decks personally. Like I think Dragons are cool. I think like Unchained's cool. I think Pearly's cool. I like mid-range formats. But my issue is even like Synchron, like the freaking Adventure Synchron deck is literally like cancer. Like that deck is not fun to play against. You open hand trap, no, you lose. You open hand trap, you win. Like that is, I feel like that is like the worst Yu-Gi-Oh. And so like when Ariseheart is banned, all these people are gonna come out of the closet, okay? All these bozos are gonna come out of the closet, and they're gonna be like, "Yay! It's time for me to roll the dice." And if they roll better than you, you just lose to people that are just way worse than you. Like you just straight up lose to people way worse than you. Like they're coming out the woodworks. And I think that's just unfortunate sometimes. Like, I prefer mid-range formats, and I just think that, like, the combo decks are just going to be degen. And you know what's going to happen? Look at Drytron. Tritron. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Whatever. Drytron. Infernoble. Synchron Adventure. Like, so many decks are just going to, like, low-key pop off. And I think, like, it's quite frustrating in my opinion. So like look, I want Ariseheart to get banned. Like I genuinely wanted this card to get banned, but you have to evaluate, like you have to give and take, you know? Like you have to evaluate some pros and cons with this. Like there are some cons, and I'm telling you right now, like I think the biggest issue, and you know what the thing is, we're gonna have to switch to like a hand trap format almost. That's like my first initial reaction to the ban list when I saw this. Is that like we have to play infinite hand traps now. Dude, like maining droll is not fun. Like maining droll is not a sign of a good format. I'm telling you guys right now. Like we're gonna have to like, and we're gonna have to play like infinite hand traps, and it's like so stupid. And it's weird because like Shifter, Ariseheart, those type of cards keep these like combo decks at bay. But it's like when these type of decks are gone now, it's like those type of decks are playable, so you're gonna have to like play infinite hand traps. So it's like it's so rough. And with the amount of like power cards, these like a lot of these decks can just completely grief you. Like you play against the Vanadium dude who like wins the dice roll, you're gonna lose. So yeah, so that was my thought on it. Like, should this card get banned? Yes. Like, and like, I'm not saying you should not ban Arise, but I'm just saying that like it's not just like dandy now. Like, there's gonna be some more disgusting stuff that's gonna come out as a result of this, and I think that's what we have to look for. So, like, I already know. Like, I feel like my first iterations of decks that I'm gonna be making are just gonna have infinite hand traps, and I feel like that's just unfortunate. Like, you just kind of have to, like, you know. So, it is what it is. But that's why I really enjoyed this past format before this ban list. Because even though Kashtira was really like cancer, like Ariseheart is super cancer, like it was still like not, like there were still a lot of decks you could genuinely play, and it was completely fine. Like Rescue Ace is like really solid into Arise. And there was like a lot like Unchained. You could be playing Unchained, you could be playing Rescue Ace, you could be playing Flu if you wanted to. It's quite there's actually like more options. Like you play Dragons, there's actually a lot of options, more than people think. And so like that, yeah. Anyways, now let's look at the limited section. Bistio, Magnamut, Chaos Space. I mean, like, here's my 2 cents on this. I don't think the dragon deck did not really get nerfed. I think the only nerf was like Chaos Space, and Magma was a generic card in everyone's deck back when the tier was really good. And you know, if the card is like really solid, like people just play 3, and it's like literally one of the most insane hand traps. So Magnum like it's like not really that needed. You can like loop it off regain. And then Chaos Space to 1 is like you lose a little bit of consistency, but the deck makes the same end board. Like the deck literally did not change. This was basically Worlds Dragons. Like at Worlds, this was basically like their balance, like close enough. And look at Paul's end board. He was going crazy. Hermetic Seal, Borderland, all this crazy shit. Like the deck did not change. I hope you know. Chaos Space is a slight consistency hit, a little bit, but the one Magma changed nothing for the deck. I think the deck is still really strong. There's just too many dragon cards. There's just straight up way too many dragon cards, and so I think like the hit was okay, but it was kind of weird. Next we had the unlimited section, so nothing changed in the semi-limited. I guess the last piece is regarding like Orange Light, Gazelle. I think Orange Light is interesting, but I just think Orange Light is kind of suspect too, because with Magnum at 1, Tritron is probably going to see some play again. And they have 3 Orange Light now, so I guess this is fun, I guess. I mean, and then like Tier Limit is probably going to be seeing some more play. No more Ariseheart. And obviously Orange Light is really good in Tier Limits as well. So I think that's a cool hit to have at 3. I actually got really lucky. I never sold my playset of Orange Light because I played Fairies and Edison. So I'm actually glad I have 3 Orange Lights still. Like ultis at least. So I'm happy about Orange Light. I can't really complain about it, but I think Orange Light is a pretty degen card in my opinion as well. It's like similar to Gamma. It's just crazy. And then Gazelle to 3. I mean, to be honest, this didn't change anything at all, in my opinion, because you already had like 10 copies of Gazelle anyways. Like, there's literally a new Salad Monster that just got released in the latest set that literally searches Gazelle. Like I think the level 2 guy. And so like Gazelle was already at 1 million copies. This didn't change much. Slight consistency boost. It's fine. I do think, like I said, I like mid-range formats. I like mid-range decks. Believe it or not, the Salamangreat deck was actually my first deck ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! That was actually the first deck that introduced me to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So it holds a sentimental piece in my heart, you know? I remember when I had no idea how to link summon, so I had to watch some SEMO videos. But yeah, I think Gazelle 3 is cool. I think it's a slight consistency upgrade, so it's okay. Yeah, now they can play like Desires, yeah, and just run it, just slam it down. I mean, I think Gazelle 3 was like good, but yeah. So like I said, that's pretty much my banlist reaction and my thoughts on the banlist. I think like Ariseheart should get banned. I think they didn't touch enough stuff. I think the format is still really wide. I think Konami likes wide formats because I think they like the fact that players have a multitude of decks that can be played. 100% there are best decks for sure, and there are really, really strong decks for sure. But I think that's just kind of aligns with Konami's like strat. So there's that.